Okay, so for this project, we've done a wash of Ultramarine Violet and raw umber with white gesso all over, just to tone down the canvas in a cool color. And now what I'm going to do, we're going to work on the background. So we have a tree there in here in the background, far away, and then we have trees close by, you know, with the branches and the twigs and everything. So we're going to be putting that. So I have here white, that's titanium white, Payne's gray, and raw umber. So I'm going to take my titanium white. You can use white gesso as well. I'm going to take quite a bit. Put some Payne's gray in it. Payne's gray has a bit of blue. I'm using golden, so the Payne's gray I have shows a lot more blue.
So what color did you say I could use instead of gray? I don't have gray.
Payne's gray. You don't have Payne's gray?
No, I have no gray, period.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you could use you can use any blue,
Any blue?
ultramarine,
Okay. I've got lots of
blue.
blues.
Okay, ultramarine blue is fine.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put in it raw umber. This will give me a really nice kind of soft, earthy, bluish color.
White light then, or there's also quite a bit of white.
I'm putting, yes, but I'm putting slowly, I'm adjusting slowly because I have to keep in mind, I'm adjusting the value slowly because I have to keep in mind that this is going to dry darker. And whatever you see on the screen is usually lighter because of the lights around here.
Mhm.
So darken yours a bit, because you know what, if you put it on and you find that it's dark when it's dry, there's no problem. We can always glaze it and it'll be fine.
Do you actually have the photograph colored at your house that they used, or did they just print out the colored photograph?
Everybody, yeah, usually everybody prints out the color or they put it on their screen, or you know, somehow, yeah.
Okay.
You have to
Alright.
have it, yeah. So
Okay.
now I'm gonna take my brush and I'll just start by adding the color that's a little bit too blue for me, so I'm gonna put a bit of more raw umber in there to make it a tiny bit warmer and more on the brown side. Yeah, that's better. I'm not really worried about the trees on the right hand side. I can always put them on. Now I'm going down. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going underneath the umbrella, I'm going to put a bit more brown in there. Okay, up to here. Now grab a bit of blue with the corner of your brush, or Payne's gray, or any blue you're using, and put it here. I'll explain why I'm doing this. Now I'm going to take more white. add it, and you'll see we're getting a mixture of different values in here. Values and different colors. So if you glance at your reference, you will see that you can see different colors and different values, you know, some light, some dark. That is what makes it look interesting. It looks like something is happening in there, but we don't want to specify what's happening in there. Just a bunch of different colors.
I can't see it at all when I look at the picture. Good
That's
job,
okay.
you're painting, because I wouldn't be able to see it. It looks really nice when you do those, the different colors and that, it gives it depth.
Yes. And now you see that it's drying darker and harsher, but that's okay. At the end, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting snow all over. So the snow will take away, like take a bit of that harshness away. Now this is wet. It's a grayish wet colored paint. So what I'm going to do, because it's wet and it's a light color, I'm going to dip in it some raw umber. And my raw umber will be very, very soft because the paint, the white, the light gray in there is wet.
And it's dry enough that, and you're just putting so little on that it's not running into the paint behind it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's dry. It's yeah, it's not. It doesn't have a lot of. There's no water. I'm not.
Yeah, there's no water in it at
Yeah,
all.
I'm not dipping my brush in water.
Okay.
So technically, we can do this, and you can just put some gray and dip your colors in that gray, so to keep them soft. But really, I wouldn't worry too much. The only reason I'm following this is just variety, and it gives it an interesting look. That's all. But it really doesn't have to be exactly what you see. It's just a bunch of colors in the background to suggest something happening.
Pardon me. Pardon me again.
Okay, now there is a sign, I think, and it's nice because that what gives it an urban look. I'm going to mix both colors, Payne's gray and raw umber, and I'm going to put a sign right here. Stick more burnt umber than Payne's gray. Perfect. Perfect. That's really, really good. Okay. Now let's take Payne's raw umber, white. So we're going to make our raw umber soft and light. And then we're going to take Payne's gray, put it in. So kind of the same like we did here, but more raw umber in there. Let's take white, a little bit of white.
You know, your background on here, it looks like it's white background. And when I did mine, it looks purple, my wash.
Doesn't matter. That's okay.
It won't matter.
Honestly,
Okay.
no, doesn't matter. Just a wash.
And you're using the same brush all the time. You haven't changed brushes.
Well, I did change my brush to a smaller one,
Oh,
but
did you?
it's
Okay.
still the same. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
flat,
Okay.
still the same. I'm gonna be, I'll zoom in a bit, okay? So you can see exactly what
Great.
I'm doing.
So that's
Okay, so now I can see that maybe the trees are a tiny bit, dark, but again, it doesn't matter because I can always glaze this.
What do you mean by glaze?
Meaning I can put over a layer of thin color, thin paint using, let's say, white and ultramarine violet. I'll mix, take white, even if I put this in there, Payne's gray, any color that's cool color, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna make it transparent. See, like watercolor,
Right?
and I'll apply wash over the whole thing. And this wash will soften everything in here. It's like you're putting a thin sheet of transparent white
You
paper
mean after
over.
you finish doing the painting?
Oh yeah, yeah. After, oh yes, for sure. Then you have
So
to
you're
wait
not
for it
using
to dry.
gesso at that point, you're just using the white.
Right now?
No, when you do the
No, yeah,
glaze.
yes, no, not gesso. No, titanium white.
Okay. See, this is why I wanted to sit in on your class so I can question you.
Yes, that's fine. That's good. I'm not concerned about the shape I'm putting right now because I'm going to go over this with negative painting in a minute. So you'll see how I can clean up all of this. If there's anything to be cleaned up, it will be cleaned up at that point with the negative painting. We just finished a project that had a big tree in it too.
I like trees.
Are
I'm
you
trying-
start doing your big size paintings? You're not doing the little, anything I ever saw you did generally were large, large screens. What size are
Yes.
you?
What size is this one?
No, I know what this is, but what are you typically doing on your own?
Big ones
The
on
big
my
one?
own. Like my paintings are big, large.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because you were doing large ones all along.
Yeah. I'm still doing that. I still use large canvases.
Canvases, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting excited just watching you. I'm really keen. I hope mine will look as good as, well, at least halfway.
It will. It will. It will. You just have to just start, and once you start, you'll be you'll enjoy it. You'll
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to switch my brushes. I'll show you in a minute what we should do at the bottom part. So you'll have a nice kind of interesting background in here between the trees. This is different than painting nature because this is urban. This is in a city. So I'm going to stop recording in a minute, and I'm going to continue because this is just, I'm just putting trees in there. But before I do, I'm going to take white and put it in the same mixture and just kind of go in between with the white.
So this that you're doing right now isn't going to be on YouTube, this kind of information?
It is. It's all.
Oh,
It's
it is?
everything
Okay.
is being recorded right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So
Does it matter that I'm talking to you?
no.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna. What I'm doing is I'm putting a bunch of different values of the same colors. So what I did is I used white initially, and I put in my white a bit of raw umber and Payne's gray, and I painted the trees. Now, in between the trees and at the bottom, in some certain areas, I'm putting the same. I just took more white, put it in there, and I'm adding different values of the same in between the trees. And I'll show you in a minute. We're going to go back after we finish doing this, and it's just random. Just go random. It doesn't have to be clean. Just go in between.
Now, why not you have just done that whole thing like that and then done the branches on top of it? It's a
You
branch,
could, you can.
but
it's fine.
this is just teaching us another
Yeah,
way.
just
Okay.
another way of doing that. You can do it any way, any way you like, any way that's easy for you. But
you're
I just
still
want to
doing
show
certain-
you.
Okay.
I just want to show you how to do negative painting.
Okay.
In a
And
case,
you're adding some water now, right?
yes, it's a little bit more water in there.
Yeah. Okay. And for the
Well,
tree as well, you added.
yes.
It's just easier to paint with thinner.
It's just what you want to do is have different values in there and different shapes and different colors, and it's not.
Okay.
And then we go in and we add negative painting in there after, and it's very interesting when you see the negative painting. Let's do that. Just a little bit more water in here. It doesn't have to be exactly the same color. And I'm going to stop recording in a minute because what we're doing right now is just spreading this color around. And I'll start recording again when we do the negative painting. Also, I like the idea of going over the branches that I put in there to soften them. Okay, I'll stop recording because this is just spreading the color. Okay, now that I have most of the trees in here and the background, the dark one, I'm gonna clean up in between here, where the woman is walking, using the same colors, just different values, whites, more whites in certain areas, and Payne's gray and raw umber in other areas here. Kind of not definite. You can't really tell what's happening, but there's something happening in there. It's a movement of something. I will adjust all of these are going to be adjusted soon. All of these colors and everything. I always adjust when I'm working with acrylics. I try to adjust my values after because it dries darker. So now I'm going to go in and enhance color of the some of the trees here. Okay. Now that I have this, I'm going to be painting, negative painting now. So I'm going to take Payne's gray, put it in white, only Payne's gray, no raw umber. This is what we're doing, trying to do now is showing sky. So white, Payne's gray, white and Payne's gray. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to try to open up negative painting in between the branches. You have to adjust the way you're looking at this, and remember that you're painting the trees, painting the sky between the twigs and the branches.
It's interesting watching you do it, and it's looking really good now. You wouldn't expect it to, but you really get the feeling of the outside.
Yeah, yeah. You start looking at you start seeing this kind of camouflage or combination of branches and sky and little twigs, and it makes it a little bit more interesting. And it's good to practice this negative painting. So you do a negative painting to shape whatever is in front or in between. If it's easier to do, if you put your, it doesn't mean this is it, I'm going to be doing this. I can go back after and add more twigs and branches if I want over the negative painting. the more you practice, the easier it becomes to do these negative paintings. So you'll start seeing what you're actually blocking and what's happening when you block. So it's not going to happen the first time. It's going to be a bit of a struggle because you're switching the way you're thinking or the way you're seeing your painting into a backwards kind of, or doing something that's not obvious. You're thinking ahead. So when I block this line, this here, and I do this, that means there's a branch in there. I just created a hint of a branch. So the more you practice, the easier it becomes. It's not easy, but with practice, it'll be fine.
I'm just drawing freehand the picture that we're doing, and gosh, it looks like so much detail. I'm really intrigued what you're going to do with all those buildings and the lights and everything.
That's the fun part.
It looks hard. It looks
That's
really
the fun part.
fun part. Looks like the
Yes,
hard.
it's good. No, fun.
I should probably buy tracing paper and do it properly. I'm
No,
not using.
no, that's okay. Just kind of enjoy it. You'll see.
I will. Oh, it's hard to believe right now looking at it.
Now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush, round brush, and pick up a little bit more white and Payne's gray. And I'm going to go in there and kind of enhance the color of the sky in certain areas, not everywhere. I'm cleaning up a bit now, a bit more kind of in certain areas, because now I can see where the branches are kind of. And I'm just gonna kind of create a nice glowy color of the sky in certain areas, not everywhere.
Honey, can you hear my dog barking now?
Yep.
Oh, too bad. I
No,
can't.
it's not bad. It's not, you know, not much. We can't hear it much. It looks like an abstract right now.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I think it's looking really pretty.
Yeah, slowly when we clean up a bit, it will look much better.
Really pretty. So how many lessons does this take? Because the harder part looks to me the left side with the building. Is that, how many more hours is that side to do?
I really can't tell because usually we don't rush. So we
Right.
take our time, and when it's done, it's done.
So that won't be till the
we-
next lesson when you come back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop recording in a minute because we don't need to go through, you know, all of this. I don't need to record all of that. So what we're doing, we're just filling some of these areas with a little bit more highlighted color of the sky. And usually what I'm trying to do actually is just kind of takes that colored, highlighted color and don't spread it everywhere. You know, even if let's say I start here. Okay, I'm going to keep the rest darker. All right. So now I'm done kind of the negative painting. I mixed the same colors, Payne's gray, raw umber, white, and I'm just going in between with a softer browns and adding more of these twigs in between to create a feel or a look of empty winter trees that have been, you know, the trees without leaves on them. You know, so we don't, sometimes you want to put lighter ones because some of them are closer, some of them are further away. Just movement of something happening in here. And that's it. So this is not the focal point already. This looks like it needs to be pushed back, but we're going to be putting snow over that eventually, so I'm not worried. And I'm not going to do anything right now. Just leave it just the way it is. And it will eventually be covered in some snow.
I'm just looking at a picture I did with you in one of your past classes, Lael, where we had the trees and the lampposts and the people, it recedes and then they come out, it converges and the people getting bigger. And I love that picture. I only have it, I've never showed it to anybody, but I really like it. It reminds me of the same idea.
Oh,
But
good, good.
it's all negative painting.
Yes, we've done a couple of these. Yes, yes.
And I remember at the time thinking it was awful, but when I sit here and look at it, I think it's pretty good.
I'm sure it is. All right. Okay, enough? That's fine. That's enough. Okay, so now, now that we've done this, and I am very tempted actually to put a wash over it, and I will in a minute. I mixed all of the colors I have here, white, Payne's gray, and raw umber, and I'm going with a lot of white, and I'm using a white brush. I'm just gonna put this color over here, the bottom part. At the far, in the far corner up here, I'm adding a little bit more raw umber. And now I'll come over here. And just go across. Let's take a tiny bit of more Payne's gray, put it across. This is not the final layer. This is just the first layer. Good. So we'll have a soft kind of beautiful brushstroke going across with all of that busyness that's happening here. It's a good balance.
That's raw umber you just put on there?
It's both raw umber, white, and
That's
Payne's
really
gray.
goldy almost. Right?
So yeah, so it's in certain areas you will see more raw umber, certain areas you'll see more Payne's gray. This is not the last, this is just the first layer. There will be another layer coming over that when it's dry and when we're ready to put some more snow at the bottom. This is just the first layer.
Oh, okay.
There are other layers that are going to be like whiter on top, lighter than this. But now that this is done, I'd like to add a wash at the back there, here. So the wash is going to be the same color I have here, which is great. I have white and Payne's gray. And even if it has a bit of raw umber in it. It's not a big deal. So what I'm doing is I'm making my colored or my paint watery. So it's transparent. And for me to know if it's transparent, I can do a test, or I can just wipe my brush and I can see there's water in there. And I can come here and go over. Okay, it needs a bit. Clean my brush because I was actually mixing my paint in there with this brush. So I'm going to clean it very well, dry it, and then pick up this color. So even if you see that this color, when you put it, I wipe it. When you put your color, even if you see that it's too light, don't worry about that. Just go over the whole thing. But the only thing is make sure that your color is underneath, your paint is dry. Otherwise it will lift if it's not dry. This is it. Just let it dry. So what happens now, acrylic dries darker, it will dry darker. And especially because it's transparent, also all of that you're seeing, it's too light, it will soften, it will go darker. But at the same time, I pushed all these trees back.
And that was white and raw umber?
It's white and raw umber and a bit of Payne's gray, but
More white and
yeah.
wash.
Yes, and water. That's what you need. You need to have water in there. You will get used to it. It might not work the first time, but you will get used to glazing, and you will get used to the how much water you should be putting in your paint. This is just by practice. I know in the reference, the trees are a little bit darker, but I like them lighter like this. I prefer that they're a bit lighter. Now, later on, if I find that I want to put more, I want to enhance the trees or make them darker, I will make them darker, but not as dark as before. But this is good. I really like that. It's fine. It will dry darker and it'll be fine. So no need to go darker than this. Right. This is where we're at. Next week, we will work on the left-hand side, put some bunch of buildings and colors, and then we'll take it from there.